this is going to be a fun day reading, that's for sure. Let's see, we got an orange. Nice. What's good, everybody? How you guys living out there? Finalizing this controller. Hopefully, maybe another day or so. Where's that look? Let's let that dry. Yo, Die Lab, what's good? How you living, man? Trying to find like a nice sharp blade here. Give me a sec, yo. Outcast, what's good? How you guys living, man? Everything good? Oh, man. Today I'm going to be doing some weeding. Lala, what's good? Patreon fam. How's life, guys? You guys working on projects? You guys chilling? What's the deal for today? Y'all can see I'm going to be doing a little bit of weed work here. I got to see how complicated this is going to be. And as I'm opening it up, I'm already thinking, what did I get myself into again? So yeah, I use an X-Acto. Just like the way it kind of picks up. Sometimes there's small pieces that stay on there. Just weed them out. I could freestyle that back in. But yeah, even weeding can be an art. Because you can do this quick when you get used to it. In the beginning it's frustrating though. Just down a little bit, Joe. Outcast, what are you working on, bro? That's an interesting project. And I've been there too, man, where I'm like, dude, should I reverse back or should I keep going? See, the more you get used to taking the little pieces out, it becomes easier as it goes. I like to use light though, because when you have light shining right at it, you can really see all the cuts. So when you pick it out, it's a lot easier to just find the design that you're trying to get. Oh yeah, first time drawing and first time blending are both very difficult things when you're first starting off on it. Are you using an airbrush, Outcast? Because blending is a lot easier when you use an airbrush. And your other, what was it? The other thing was first time drawing. Usually what people like to do is paint the first base coat white, and then you can use like a number 2 pencil and you can draw on it, on the actual shoe. That's a good way to kind of get a feel for where the shape should be at. So if you're making faces and stuff like that, you want to kind of draw the shell out of the person, or whatever you're trying to create. But don't be discouraged, man. You got to try. It's all about practicing. And it's good that you realize that your capabilities too, because I've been there where I'm like discouraged. I don't know if I can paint a portrait, or I don't know if I can do a design a certain way. But the only way you're gonna get good at it is continuing to do it. You're gonna improve every time you do it. Those things that are challenges right now could become your strengths later as well. Because like for me, I always aim to do a little bit of everything good. Let's move this guy out the way. I feel like I'm always cramped. Sorry guys if I'm not talking a lot, it's just because I'm really focusing on trying to get these lines out. At least so we can lay down the first coat here. So let's see if that's somewhere close. Oh, that was long. I'll tell you, drawing like actual portraits is a very difficult thing to do, especially in the beginning. Sorry guys, I want to take a quick sec to show you where I'm at here. This is just me weeding out with one of these little X-Actos. I think this is by Fisker. Yeah, Fisker's. Really handy little guy here. Picks really fast, so I start from one corner. I want to ultimately get to a corner on the other end, but you don't want to go too far. So this is, if I were to kind of measure this out with a little bit of a wrap, I'd say we've got basically this first side done. Right now I want to try to be continuous with it, so I want to keep that same print. So I kind of messed up here because I should have, let's see if we can get a little bit higher. Yeah, I should have probably gone this way, that would have been a smarter move. So anyways, I'm going to still cut this out real quick, but I think this is a good front. What do you guys think? Let me pick this up, show you guys. Man, I'm just now having a coffee, guys. So I've never done that print before. It's a Gucci Ghost, and I'm hoping it comes out. You know, it's hard to put a stencil on stuff that curves a lot, and I don't want to hit too much heat because it's a controller. So just got to be conscious of those things. But yeah, let me cut out a little bit of this section here, so we can spread this open a little bit. Somewhere around there. There we go. Oops, sorry guys. My camera's that close to me. Alright, so let me run through this real quick. Lalo, I use a Cricut. I just got a Cricut maker, and I haven't used that one yet. But the what's this other one? A Cameo Silhouette. That works really well for stencils. And guys, I'll check the chat in a sec. I just want to kind of run through, because I don't want to be sitting here all day doing this too. Really want to get this applied on the pad here. Alright, let me take a quick 2-minute break here. Show you guys where I'm at though. Graham, what's good? Let me just check the chat real quick, guys. How's everybody doing? Flight School Customs, what's good? Punky B, how you been? Got your 6, what's good? Got a lot of folks in here today, man. A lot of familiar names too, man. Glad to see everybody's back. Hope everybody's safe. I've been so busy on this little print, I haven't had a chance to check what you guys are talking about. Can we get a quick IG shout out? Can everybody put their IGs out right now, please? If you guys don't mind. I'm just checking through the comments here. I like that everybody knows each other. That's dope. Yeah, Lalo, I like that silhouette, man. It's a good machine. It works hard, and it's once you get familiar with it, it's a great tool to use for your art. So yeah, I was asking about the IG because Outcast was asking if everybody has an IG. Please throw your IG out so we can all follow one another. I appreciate it. There we go, guys. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. All right, guys. I'm gonna keep going with this. frustrating. Alright, come out. Get out. Go. Sometimes I feel like once I get a good like roll going, it goes a lot quicker, and then sometimes I feel like it's super tedious. But it's just part of the job, you know. And the better you do this part, the better it's going to come out at the end. I'm really liking the drip on the logos too. Almost done. That's like a relief. I think I got some that are missing still. Yeah, I do. Alright, I think I'm going to do just a quick scan. Usually I like to start from the top and scroll to the right, find all the little spots I missed. Alright, I think we're pretty good now. Let me get that transfer tape. Oh man. Yo, Dialab, you're not the only one about social media, man. Trying to get on this stuff even was very difficult and understand how to do it. And I think now we're streaming now at the same time. There we go. Cool. All right, so what's the deal with this part, guys? I think I should just block it off. What would you guys do right here? So I got still cut, trim a little bit here. Ideally, I'm trying to get it to be like right there. I have so much light in here that I can barely see what I'm cutting. It's like bouncing off. I've cut pretty well though. Alright, dope. So it's got to be somewhere here. By the way, before I do this, I just want to let you guys know I've already sprayed this on there. This is LK Shoes. What's this called? Intercoat, right? Yeah, Intercoat. So Webb's Custom Cakes told me to try this out. This is my second time using it. And so this is already laid out with that, okay? I think somewhere along that line will look good. So I'm kind of afraid to hit this thing with heat. Maybe I'm being too cautious, but I'm really not trying to mess the controller up, you know? I do notice that peeling this off is going to be a challenge. So I might have to come around here and angle this view. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be easy. Like I'm going to have to peel off this vinyl and then like reposition the print is what I feel like. Because it's not sticking on the controller very well. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be releasing very well. The joys of customizing new things, right? I just got to figure out what to do. Alright, so let's try this. It seems to be coming off a little bit easier. Yeah, it is. Dope. Thank the Lord. That always gets me nervous when I'm in the middle of doing this and then it doesn't turn out as expected, right? You're like panicking in the middle of holding tape and stencils and... Alright, what do I do now? Alright, cool. I'm very carefully contouring the print as well, guys. Because I'm picking up this carrier here, I'm also just kind of pressing the stencil back down just by hand. Kind of a loose kind of placement there, but then it helps really get the print right. Now keep in mind I did paint the controller blue, so I don't want to have this vinyl stay on for too long. You really want to do what you need to do here and then peel off. Otherwise it might peel off the blue base and I don't want that. Sweet, I got pretty much all the way up this chain. A lot of little pieces here. Oh man, that felt like it was like climbing a mountain right now. Alright, cool, man. We got like right to the spot that we kind of need to be at, huh? What do you guys think? The placement looks pretty good. It's funny, now I'm going to spray it, and there might be overspray. We might have to clean it up, but you know, at the end I could imagine that print, if we can get it to be, you know, somewhat simultaneous, fluid, it'll look really sick. Alright, so let's jump on to the next section here. Oh man, this is going to be fun. So same deal. Got that side done. We got these buttons here that are going to have that little contour. So we got to just remember to be conscious of that. Other than that, I think that we should basically just do this the same kind of a cut. Where did we go here? We went like right here, right? Cut that, okay. And remember, we got to keep these in line. So this can't be going like this or like this. It has to, you know, look like it goes the same way, same direction. I think that looks good. I'm going to just cut a little bit right here. Let's get it almost there. Okay, and this part here, if I miss a little bit, it's okay. We can just kind of fill it in ourselves. So I'm thinking maybe about right there is where I want to cut. And I always double check. So before I just start cutting on this, I could see the line here. That's what I'm aiming to cut. Alright, so pick it up. I could see the cut here. So that's a good approximation of what should be trimmed out here. It looks even, right? Look. And so now we can lay this out. This is going to be our centerpiece. Alright, so let's put that down. That's the easiest part because that doesn't have any contour. We got to jump on this now. Maybe I could even just go slightly smaller. Just to drop it a little bit. That's good. Cool. Thank you, Dilab. I appreciate that, man. Trimming the hair on those was, jeez, man. It was. I still have to do that, man. Look at this. All of this needs to be all trimmed down. You can see the difference. So yeah, I got to put in some work on that tonight. Finish these up. But yeah, those were a lot of work, man. I don't sleep a lot lately. It's just not good. Oh, Graham, you missed that, huh? We already painted it. It was white, and we were actually contemplating whether we should paint that. So if you didn't see that part when we were painting the base blue, what we ended up deciding was we're going to paint this because he doesn't use, I guess that's a mouse pad, which is crazy. He doesn't use that much, so he said, yeah, go ahead and paint it. So I was like, cool, that's perfect. I like that. There we go, cool. At least this came off easy from there. Sometimes that's a pain to take off for some reason. Alright, so now we're going to kind of edge this out. Let's see, so we got some G's there, some G's here. I think I can cut this a little bit more, trim this out, so we can get this to be slightly higher and cover the front here. That's the left side, so let's just cut. Come on, buddy. Work with me here. Thank you. Dope. See, now I can get that little section here. And just loosely, I take a look at it before I place it down. What do you guys think? Is that pretty good for placement? Some of this part is taped off too, so the whole thing's not gonna be the print. I think somewhere around there. I just saw I see a future sponsor in Manscaped. That is funny. Yeah, that was tiresome, bro. Not fun. My hands felt like I need to put them in ice. This shouldn't be that off. Let's just get it to be slightly higher here. The main thing I gotta remember is these G's gotta kind of match up and look like one another there. Sorry guys, I'm a stickler for print being laid out correctly, so alright, I think that looks pretty decent. Alright, let's get it. Jeez, man, this is when it wants to be easy, sometimes it's easy, and other times it could be a pain. Today it's working with me though. Let's put this back down. Nice. Here sometimes I'll just look for the smaller pieces, try to place them back down right, you know, instead of needing an X-Acto to help place them. So as I'm taking the carrier off here, I'm trailing that with my other hand and putting down the small pieces that are coming off, aren't coming off the carrier here. Almost there. That's that one. That's all good. Come on. There you go. Go all the way back because I missed this one here. This needs to be placed right. Place it down right there. And then bring it back up. So you have to backtrack there. Basically, if this vinyl doesn't come off, it will pull the rest of the pieces in the wrong spot. So just important for me to get the whole vinyl piece off as much as I can. Sometimes I'll have like little pieces and I'll leave them on the on the carrier, and then we could just put them on afterwards. It's another way to just kind of compensate for missing pieces. Let's go. Come on. I gotta put him back. Dope. Cool. I missed this little piece, huh? Where was this at? I think that was up here. Oh, maybe up like this. I have no clue. Let's see. Let me just place it down and see that. That looks like it's covered anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay. Let me see what we have left on here. This is little pieces. Let's see if we can just take the other spots here that we can clearly see that this needs to be moved and place them back real quick. Just taking my finger and just tapping everything kind of into place. Doesn't need to be perfect, but you don't want to have a bunch of air pockets, you know? When we lay this down, it needs to be pretty conforming to the controller. And so it's important for me, at least, when I prepare here, you want to have as little error as possible when you airbrush. Alright, so I think that looks okay. I'm really missing a small piece here. I see that. I bet it might be this one. Again, if I could find it, it's great for me. That might not be it. Maybe this is it. Let's see. Think we got a match. Let's get it. If not, that's close enough. Alright, I think we're good there. Oh man, I feel somewhat accomplished getting this far done. Sometimes this can be very monotonous. Let me try to pick this up real quick. Oh, it's a star. Okay. So that's a star here. Do we have a star over here? Is that what that is? No, that's not what that is. Alright, let's just center it then. There's got to be part of this, right? There's nothing else left. Cut it in 3. Oh, maybe this is here. Let's see. Anyways, I mean, we got this piece. We're using this piece. Let's go about right there. Just slightly underneath. Maybe a little bit more. I think that's cool. Scrawny Johnny, what's good? Trampa, what's good, man? Everything's good here, man. Trying to get this controller knocked out. If I can get this, at least the base of this painted and then the beginning of the orange painted today, I'll be super happy. This is a nice way for people to see what kind of work is involved when you've got to customize something like this. So I'm thinking like right about there would be good. Where's that GG? There, got GG here and here. So I almost feel like this one should be either lower or higher. Because yeah, it has that print going this way. So we gotta have this one be right there for sure. That's where it's gotta be. Guys, if you have any questions and I haven't answered them, I'll be right with you guys. Just got to knock out this little center section here. When I'm working with these stencils, it gets so intricate sometimes. So you just got to be patient and take your time when you work with stencils. Can save a lot of time for you too, you know. Usually they're very good like marking point for if you're going to do some kind of a design, especially if it's something that has a repetition to it. Alright, let's see. So we got to knock this little portion out. And now I'm just trying to think, what should we do next? Got to make sure the airbrush is ready. And I know we got to mask a little bit of this controller off for sure before we start. Almost there. Stay encouraged, folks. You're almost there. Keep going. I don't know why this one doesn't want to stay there. Just stay, man. That's where you belong. Nice. I love seeing that the print lays flat, you know? There's no air bubbles in it. You're locking it in nice. There you go. So just take your time and place everything correctly before you start painting anything. Because this is like your one chance to really get that print to look right. When you do this, you really want to look for any little stars that you can fill back in because they're already the correct cut. I see two vinyl pieces together here, so I think they're two different ones here. More than likely. Probably like this, I think. This one's probably a little further. And I think this one was like right about there. Tap it into place. Once you feel good, Just tap it into place. That little piece did not want to stick the whole time, yo. Okay, I'll forget you then. And this guy had a bunch of friends. Where did they go? They gotta be on here. Dang. Barely have any left. Ooh. I feel like this should go somewhere around here, but I'm not positive. Let's see. Oh, that looks like it has two actual small triangles on there. I think it does. Wow. Talk about intricate. Look at that. There was two of them on there. I wonder this one looked awkward. So is that it now? I think that is it. Dope. Now this little small piece. Maybe you. Dope. That's you. And let's see what else we got. We got one more small piece there. Fill that in and let's start shooting. I think that's pretty good, right guys? It looks like it filled in alright. Alright, I don't know where these little pieces are. It's gotta be on here. I'm like kind of frustrated. Let me see if maybe I could fill in, even if it doesn't fit perfect. At least something. Oh, that's a match. Sick. Let's get it. That means the other one's over here too, right? Sheesh, maybe not. Oh. You've been drafted, buddy. Come here. Good enough. Alright, jeez. That was, man, what are we right now? 30 minutes in? That's where we're at right now. What do you guys think? Alright, if you guys haven't tuned in before, we're going to go with the New York Knicks theme. So they want an orange print. Alright, so how do I say it? Don't kill the messenger. We're going in New York Knicks orange and blue. Alright? But the cool thing is I really like that colorway, so I'm really excited to see it come out. Hopefully clean. That's the usual game plan, right? Alright, so I'm just tapping out anything that I feel like needs to be placed down, but I'm not really like pressing it down and pushing it. I don't want this to adhere to the blue base. I just want it to be on there as a placer. We're going to spray down the Gucci print. We're going to take this off immediately after that. Alright? Alright. So I have no more print left. Let's start off with this and then I'll figure out what to do with the end later. Definitely not using that tape. So I'm going to use the blue tape and I'll tell you why. I've used this 3M. Oh, I sprayed that on accident. But yeah, it's just regular 3M tape that we usually use, masking tape. This is very, very sticky. And if you put that onto something that you just painted, like a controller, it'll rip off the base paint and your print that you're doing. So you definitely don't want to work with that. Alright? So we're going to use the, I guess for lack of better words, less aggressive tape here. It's not as sticky there. And we're going to place this down here and just cover up spots that we definitely don't want to paint. Alright, so got those little spots there. I know I had some little small creases there, so I'm going to just kind of go over on purpose like that. Let's see, this one had, where is that? It's a little too thick. Let's go a little thinner here. And with the actual line here, let's try to get right in that section there. I'll just avoid any overspray. It's like a, not a deep crevice, but it's enough where you should have it nicely covered. You don't want paint to get inside of there. Oh, that might be a little too small. Let's see. That was alright. Let me just do one smaller one next to it. Yeah, this is the time where if I take another 10 minutes or so just to prepare correctly, it'll be a lot less headache for you later on, because once you peel stuff off, as long as you've covered up the majority of things carefully, it'll be a lot less cleanup. And that's my end goal, is to do this as efficiently as possible. I don't want to be on this for like 3 or 4 days cleaning up. I just want to get the print to look nice and clean, and then when we unmask, hopefully we can knock out some of it like by hand to finish it all up. Alright, so we've got a good kind of majority of that covered. Now I got to still cover this small section here, because you don't want orange or white to get on your blue base. Alright, so I'm just very carefully going around, and we're just sealing that off. Seal that off, trying to get it right at that edge so we get that maximum kind of curvature there. That's good. Now we're going to do the same thing on that side. So again, let's knock that out real quick. Placer. I like to rip these in like kind of smaller sections, just because if you have a curve, it's just easier to contour it a little bit. See, there's something along that line there. And just put this one up here. Oh, actually, you know what? I think we can put that one a little bit lower, actually. Like right there. Cool. Oh, guys, pray for me, dude. I hope this is not going to be a whole nightmare of a headache once I take it all off. So let me take a quick sec. I'm going to take a quick minute just to take a sip of coffee and read what's going on in the chat room, guys. Hopefully you guys have some suggestions here where we can get this knocked out a little bit quicker. Okay, so Lab asked, so would you hand paint or airbrush a stencil? I know I kind of just went into that, but you know, just whenever I have a print that, for example, needs to have some kind of symmetry to it, you know, any kind of a print, I like to have some kind of a mapping of it, of where the location of the print should be, and then I like to refine it afterwards by hand painting it if I can. All right, so it's not always the case. Like, for example, today, if I'm hand painting on this, it could leave, how do you say it, like brush strokes, because it's plastic. It's really hard to paint on plastic and have it be smooth when it's done. So what I like to do is minimize that, you know, roughness or texture, whatever you want to call it, by airbrushing it first, a couple of coats, and really getting it to be a nice orange, and then I like to refine it to be that final coat or two of orange. So hopefully that answered that question. What else we got, man? I know I said what's up to Trampa. What's good, man? How's everything? I can shoot dye super smooth, but paint is giving me questions sometimes. DM me, man, if you need help with that, man. I can help you out with that, of course. Dealt with lower PSI, but yeah. If it still seems a little thick, a little more too thin won't hurt. Okay, that's a good point, man. I mean, you might need to dilute it. Like your paint needs to be the texture of like milk, you know? Like when you pour milk out, it's not like water where it's super thin. It has a little bit of substance to it. So if your paint, first of all, is not at that kind of a level, then yeah, it's not going to shoot out of your airbrush because it's either needing more pressure to push out because it's thicker, or your nozzle is too small to push out that thickness of paint. So that might be what he's getting at there. So that's a great point, guys. Yeah, and by the way, my PSI is usually about 35 to 40 PSI on my airbrush for Alcast, just for reference. I don't know what you have yours at, but you know, if you're at like 20, you know, PSI, of course it's not going to be strong enough to push out paint because you're going at half the PSI level that you should be, if that makes sense. Alright, I feel like I got a couple of little spots that I could really like finish up on, so instead of being a lazy ass, let me pick these off because I know that it's going to save me time later. But honestly, I'm really lazy to do this. I ain't even gonna lie. I know you guys been there too. Alright, so this one probably goes here. What do you guys think? That one's pretty big. Is there another spot that it could be at? Over here maybe? Let's see. Oh yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Let's see. Maybe not. Let's see. I mean, there's so many like smaller ones here. That's definitely not it though. It makes me feel like I can cut it though and just place it. It's annoying when I do that though because it's not always perfect. Let's see if we can get a little bit smaller. Alright, I'm gonna stay right there. I got this one little piece here that's bothering me, so let me just get something knocked out there and then we'll check that airbrush. That looks decent enough. Got a little small one here, that'll be dope. Stay there. Dope. Alright. Cool, that matched up pretty well. And I think I'm ready to shoot. What are we in, 40 minutes right now? 40 minutes to just get that really prepped up. And I still have little triangles that I know I'm missing on there, but you know, I'm kind of eager to shoot now. You know, when you get that feeling where you're just like, I'm just gonna shoot it and I'll fix whatever later. I'm right about right there right now. So if you've ever been ready to paint, you know how I feel, right? Oh, that's too big. Gotta take that one out. Okay. Alright, so let's see here. Let me grab... man, I messed up Jeff's thing. I should have really put a cover on this last time. Alright, it is what it is. Alright, y'all. So let me pull up. Let me clean that out real quick. Trampa, that's a great question, man. I really like that you opened that question up about the Jordan 1s. There's been like a flurry of different companies making their own kind of Jordan 1 versions, right? You know, to be honest with you, man, I'm kind of mixed on that because I know they take the Jordan 1 silhouette, but some of them come up with really cool ideas. You know, like there's the Revs. I think it was Revs Paris. Is that one of them? Somebody can confirm that for me. I like that pair, man. They came out with some really cool colorways too. But then there's other ones that I just feel like were not very creative. I'm just cleaning this airbrush out. When I spray my first base coat here, you really want to make sure that the white that we spray out in the beginning, nice and smooth. And because of that, I got to make sure the airbrush is at optimal performance, you know? I don't want it to have clogs in it. And so before I start, especially in the beginning, I always want to make sure that the airbrush, it's working. Sometimes I'll leave it overnight on accident. And I'll have something like a clear coat or whatever, and that's not obviously a good thing. Sometimes I'll just be into the project so much I forget. The good thing is I can clean it. Alright, so there's a bunch of gunk in there. Let's pull this nozzle out. I like to just let it soak for a little bit. This is just a cap from a paint can. It actually worked out really well because perfect little cup for my airbrush stuff. Just let that kind of sit for a minute, yeah? So while that's sitting, let's just get to the other part of the airbrush here. Just clean that out. Oh, so you barely use your airbrush and it's at 20, huh? Punky B, I'm just reading your comment there too. Yeah, if you guys have it at that low of a pressure, and you know, I'll tell you something like this might go through the this jacquard, the airbrush color. That might run through it because it's smooth. It has, you can hear it. And they have that little metal ball that kind of breaks up the inside of it, you know, so the paint, even if it's been sitting for a while, you can still break the paint up so it'll start to smooth it out a little bit. Alright, so this part looks good. Could probably give this a little bit more of a cleaning, to be honest, but it's going to be good enough to shoot. Now the last thing I do before I sometimes just this front section here, and I'll show you guys. Let me put this a little bit higher. When I poke in there, I don't know if there's any gunk, I can't see, but sometimes there'll be gunk right there. So you definitely want to make sure you clean that little section out. It's such a small little spot, but what happens is when you're cleaning the brush out, that's really easy to forget about, that little section here. So I like to make sure that's all cleaned out, and the back end as well. So let me just hit that back end real quick. I'm going to just grab the needle, and we're using the back end of the needle, and we're pushing through. And let's see if there's anything there. I'm twisting it, just kind of very carefully putting it in. This is all the gunk that was on the back end here. Y'all see that? So let me pull that out. Probably a clear coat. So yeah, definitely didn't clean this brush. At least not clean enough. Alright, so that feels better. I think that'll be good to start. Oops, thank God that didn't have anything there. Let's get this needle out. I mean needle nozzle out. Got it. Alright, so now again, cleaning any junk out of the... This is the most important part. If you don't clean this, this is like having a door shut for your airbrush if you don't clean this nozzle piece out. Because this is the last place that your paint is going to come out from. So this is clogged in here. You know exactly where your problem is. I could feel a bunch of clear coat in here, so I gotta, almost like a plunger, I gotta take all of that stuff out. Otherwise, when I start laying this first base coat, halfway through or a quarter way through, it's gonna get all jammed, and that becomes really frustrating. Especially when you first start airbrushing, you're thinking like, what's wrong? Like, why is this happening? So what you should really do is strain your paint out. Alright, so I think we're good there. Trampa, you got all three of AMAX Chicago colorways? I gotta see those. I haven't seen those. Oh, I think the chat got paused, y'all. My bad, man. I think this happened last time too. Oh, you don't like them, Punky B? Oh, dang, that's crazy. They're charging 3 or 4 times more. I haven't really checked prices for that. I thought they were all around like the $185, $200 range for their shoes, no? Chicago must be so cold, man. Chicago love. Must be freezing, huh, Dad? Something nice about snow, though. I'll tell you that. It's peaceful. It's surreal. Alright, that should be good to go. I like to kind of blow into that and see if I can see any kind of a hole through the back end here. So let me see if there's anything in here that's clogging it up still. Real careful. right there. I could see through it. So that means that I should be able to spray through it. Yeah, that's what it is. Cool KIY. I like those. They have like a almost like a creamsicle colorway that I saw that was pretty dope. Alright, where did I put this needle at, man? Needle be getting lost on me sometimes. Here it is. All these lines on the cutting mat because it got me confused. Alright. Alright, let's test this guy out. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to have the brush dirty, but if you want to learn about brushes, you learn how to clean it right now, that's for sure. Oh. Zayden. My son threw the acetone bottle the other day. It's now cracked. Thanks, son. Alright, let's see how that works. Alright, so I just put in some acetone in here just to see how smooth it goes down. It should go down real fluid. And it is. Dope. That's always a good sign, right? When it's going down nice and smooth. That means there's no clogs. And then again, just to be safe, I'm gonna pull the needle out and have a Q-tip that's just kind of cleaning any residue that might be on it. That'll really give it a nice, you know, hopefully a smoother stream, because you won't have junk from the beginning. It's nice and cleaned out there. All right, cool. Sounds right. All right, guys. Yeah, the lightning bolt, exactly, Champa. I like that lightning bolt. Oh man, I'm not gonna say it was a challenge because I've done this a million times, but every time I do it, I'll tell you guys I'm very grateful that I have the ability to do that in a pretty timely manner now. That's usually just because I've done it so many times at this point. All right, guys, let's get it. This is a Jacquard airbrush. This is an opaque white is what we're working with. Is this light too bright, guys? I feel like I always put one down. Is that better for you guys or is it worse? You guys could let me know. There's so much light in here now since we got that installed. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's put that down. Let's see how it comes out first. I've had this one for quite some time, so I don't want it to come out and then be all like mushy or, you know, it doesn't look like good paint. Alright, and I'm going to use a little bit of GAC. Alright, guys. This is a GAC 200. And I'm going to try to get about half of that and then half of the white. Alright? We're mixing 50-50 there. I'm putting that in because for plastic, you put GAC 200 in there, it'll help it stick better. It adheres to plastic, so it's almost like adding glue into the paint. Alright, so I know we were talking about airbrushes earlier and paint consistency. So right now, again, I think my compressor is at 50. I don't know if you could see that or not, but you know, I could see that if I tipped it to the left or the right too much, the paint would spill out. That's how smooth it looks, or how creamy it is. So let's test it out real quick. Yep. See, that's coming out real nice and smooth. I like that. When it comes out clean like that, it's going to come out clean on the actual controller too. So that's important for me. Now before I mess up this cutting mat, which I've already done that technically, but white just spills all over it. It makes it look real bad. So I'm going to just grab a little piece here. And for you guys, I recommend the same. You're trying to keep your area looking clean, right? Have a little piece of paper or a little setup or an area where you dedicate it to be nice and clean always. Alright, guys, here we go. I gotta grab a little bit of this sand free, and this might be overkill, I don't know. At this point, can't hurt it. I'm gonna just lay a little light coat of that on first. We've got white there. And I think it's a go. Take a breather. Okay. Let's get it, guys. So we got the airbrush here. I'm going to pick that up afterwards. Let me just go ahead and lay down a light coat here. Again, I'm just tapping things into place. Really just want to get a nice mist of this. It doesn't need to be heavy. That's not what it's about. It's more about just helping secure. Ooh, found a pocket. What is it? Spray it all over that spot right there. Dang, Daniel. Almost messed that all up. Alright, dope. Okay, cool. We're good. Alright, again, just a light coat, y'all. There's like 2 or 3 spritzes at most. I'll notice I'm just going in like a back and forth fashion here. It's basically just laying down a first layer, first foundation. It doesn't need to be very strong, but you just want to lay it out to give an impression. And as I do that, I'm not staying in one spot for too long. I'm just looking to kind of give evenness around the whole print here. And after that, I just trail and look at the edges. See the edges? You got to kind of give the edges some love as well. So let's trail back real quick and give some love to all of the edges. Contour with them. So then that way you got a nice even coat on this first round. If you see any spots that need to be, for example, tapped down, tap them down. Make sure that all of the air bubbles are gone as much as possible. You know, you'll have, see, like some air bubbles you'll have, and you just have to make a decision on what you're going to fix. Because a stencil isn't, you know, your say all be all for your final print. Again, it's just a map. It's just a guide for us to say, okay, cool, we know where the print's at. Now we got to make it look perfect. I'm spraying from a distance, guys. You don't want to be too close to the actual controller. You want it to kind of be far enough where it's just kind of laying right on that foundation, and you don't give it an opportunity for that paint to bleed and get scattered everywhere underneath the actual vinyl. So it's important for you guys to kind of stay away and spray in like a nice mist. And if you do that enough times, it's going to fill in. And that's the best way to do it, all right? So let me go ahead and give this a little bit of chance to breathe. I always say chance to breathe, you know, cure, dry, whatever you want to call it. Let me just check out what's going on in the chat. I knew I was going to forget this over there. That's not a smart place to put it. Yeah, Cool Key is right. Doesn't have that tumbled soft leather. I love tumbled soft leather, man. You know, I have that reminds me of the reverse shattered backboards. The leather on that is really, really good. I love the, you know, back then we didn't have that enthusiasm for like old vintage looking kicks, and those were it. Those looked very 80s, and they have a really nice cream, kind of a white leather, you know. So that was one of my favorite tumbled leathers for sure. You know, they have those on like the Jordan 1s. You can just buy them actually on like Alibaba or all these other like Chinese knockoff sites, because they were already making counterfeit kicks, and then I think Alibaba and them stopped them from doing anything that was copywriting Nike stuff. So then they started advertising like just blank shoes without the Nike logo, and they said you can customize your shoe, because they already had the facility there. The factories were all ready. They were already making shoes. They have the whole process down. And so that was actually a really smart business move on their part, to be quite honest with you. You know, Graham, that's the way I think about it too, man. He said, Graham said, man, just make your own materials. I'm in the process right now. It's really fun to just kind of create your own shoes, right? And you know, a lot of us are sneakerheads. Some of us are here just to watch, you know, which is awesome. But some of us also create as well. So shout out all my Patreon fan, man. Again, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are always on, man. That's so much love. I love that you guys are always on, and we can have like good, meaningful conversations about, you know, not even just, you know, I talk to you guys about almost anything, you know, about life in general. It's nice to, you know, be quarantined and have to be in quarantine, but still have some kind of, you know, social platform to be on, and meet people, and just conversate with you guys, man. It gets to be a little mentally overbearing for a lot of people to just be stuck at home all day, man. Hopefully the quarantine is going to be over soon, guys. Knock on wood. As some of you guys might have seen me do this last time, where I'm kind of just taking my right hand and almost like a sprinkler just spraying this down. And I do that just because sometimes there is something stuck in the front. The paint is kind of thick, you know. Even though it came out real thin, the paint sometimes will just kind of dry at the tip section here. Sometimes it might be a little jam in the front section here of the nozzle. So I just try to do whatever I can to maintain a nice smooth. We want to get this, you know, doesn't need to be super white, doesn't need to be perfect white. It needs to be white enough so when we lay our NYX orange down, that it'll have a nice pop to it. You know what I mean? So I'm just making sure here I'm laying down a nice light coat, light coat, light coat. We're almost at that, you know, I would say like creamsicle white, like we were just talking about with the shattered backboards, you know, that yellowish vintage, you know, yellowish white. And then we can start hitting it with an orange. And so just kind of, you know, food for thought. That's what my thought process is here. So yeah, man, I haven't really done any NYX themed stuff, so for me to do this was really fun. Sourcing materials is hard, man. I agree. I mean, you just got, you know, it's funny. I signed up the other day for this thing on Instagram to source materials, and they said like 8,000 different materials and this and this and that, and I'm like, oh snap, this might be a nice place to source fabrics. So I signed up, you know, and then I come to look at the pricing for stuff, and it's like $19.99 a yard for something that I usually pay like $5 for, you know. And I'm like, dude, this is like kind of too expensive unless you're gonna do maybe a one-off. Man, Graham, you said that finding souls is easy. Man, today I was at the mall, bro. I went to Champs, Foot Locker, Finish Line. What else? I had one other spot I went to. Chic. I went to 4 spots. And out of those 4 spots, I think 2 stores out of the 4 had. Dang, Graham, you're buying yin yangs for $75? Oh man, the sale Jordan 1s, they were so cheap too. The yin yangs and sale Jordan 1s were like heaven, dude. They were great base shoes. Yeah, Jordan lows are very, very inexpensive too. I think a lot of people just got into the whole reselling game after the whole idea that reselling kicks is like pretty profitable. I mean, it's just getting more and more profitable because when streetwear brands are starting to collab now with luxury brands like, for example, Gucci and North Face, I mean, that's a clear indicator that there's a demand for it. Even more so for affluent people. I think that jacket was going for like some ridiculous amount resale. It was like $15,000 or best offer. I'm like, dang, $15,000 is a car, right? This guy's selling a car, but it's a jacket, and it says got a North Face logo on it. That was nuts. I know that whole LV and Supreme craze was pretty crazy too, and the resale for their stuff was up there. I don't know if that Gucci and North Face collab was as how would I say it? It didn't pop as much, because the LV and Supreme, they used a red and white theme. It was very loud. I almost feel like, at least from the print that I saw on that jacket, the jacket was just a standard beige Gucci print. I don't know if they have like louder colors, but that one wasn't very like, I wouldn't pay 15 grand for it, that's for sure. So I can only imagine what it was selling for. This is bothering me. There's a little bubble here that just keeps coming back. Ooh, doggy. Got this stick all in the mix. You need to move, buddy. That kind of stuff ends up biting me in the butt. That little paint spot right there, watch. Gonna end up touching that. Even worse, I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna end up touching that. Now see, I just kind of gave that a nice layer on that section. Now I'm letting that side breathe. As that breathes, I'm just working on the other side. That kind of gives you an opportunity to really layer out both sides evenly. But more importantly, lets that side dry. You need to give that some ample time to cure. So while that's happening, you're still working, just in a different section. Now I'm just looking at the little pockets that I need to hit here. And it's going to be a lot, like I said, a lot of cleanup for sure. But let's try to get it to look as clean as we can. Here, guys, I'm about 6 inches away, and I'm pulling the trigger back and forth. I'm not consistent with this, just pulling it back. I'm hitting back, forth, and it's just giving small spritzes like that. So like this. And I do that because it helps put a little bit of air on there to help the paint dry as soon as it settles on there. Again, I gotta make sure I get those edges. So if I gotta angle my brush a different way, if I gotta move the controller, make sure everything gets love. Alright, that's a good clean layer, I think. Let me give that a second to do what it needs to do, guys. Did we get cut off? It looks like we got cut off, huh? My bad, y'all. I was in the middle of doing this. Graham was down for Zoom. Dilab's down for Zoom. Is everybody still on? Let me know. I use a Windex bottle as my airbrush cleaner. Oh, I like that. Just to directly spray into the airbrush to get... Okay. And then clean it with a Q-tip. I gotta try that out. So did you guys see what Just for Kick said? He uses a Windex bottle as his airbrush cleaner. So Windex is good when you're actually soaking out all of the cup and stuff like that. Windex runs through fine. Yeah, Punky B, I saw that the ones were going for 110 or now they're at 400. That is nuts, man. That's cool, man. Yeah, I know that Dilab, I know you said that you learned from the stream. I remember one of the streams I had, we were working with this airbrush and it just like locked up on me, dude. I didn't have a choice but to figure out how to clean it. And so what we ended up doing was just basically doing a deep clean of this because it was giving me problem after problem. And that was right after I said, yo, I love this airbrush because it never clogs on me. And I basically just jinxed myself. But yeah, I mean, if you had seen that stream, I don't know if you had seen that one or not, but that stream I had to like go through, and before we continued with our project, I had to actually jump out and finish, you know, cleaning the airbrush out so it worked. So yeah, I've had my fun experiences with airbrushing. I almost gave up airbrushing when I first started, actually, because it just kept jamming, just kept clogging, and then I realized, man, I really don't know how to clean my airbrush. Because now that I have the experience to know like how to clean the airbrush out, I was trying to cut so many corners on how to clean this airbrush, and now I just came to the realization eventually that it just takes time to clean it out thoroughly. There's no like real way to do it. You know, you just need to sit down and give it the proper attention it needs. And if you do that, then it'll always have a nice clean stream. It'll spray well. You know, so it's a tool. It'll work as good as you clean it, you know what I mean? Alright, so let me just test that out. Feels good. Let's jump back into it again. I would say, what is this, my second layer, third layer? I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna say second, just because I can't remember. It's probably not an excuse, right? No, you can't remember, you can't just say second, bro. There's no do-overs, man. Give me a break, alright? Alright, so remember, this is just going to be mapping everything out. So once I take all of this off, hopefully we won't have too many errors. And hopefully that blue base coat won't peel up. That's the one thing I had to give the blue base coat like a good, you know, day to dry. Because I really don't want that to peel up, it's not a good sign. It means that the controller may not hold up when people start playing with it, you know? So it's important that you take a look at that before you actually give the controller up. At least if you're doing it for a client, you know? If you're doing it for yourself, I would say that's great practice for you. I'm going to drop this other light on, guys, just to help me find the G's here. Now I'm really going in. Sorry, guys. That was a lot of pain. Let me get some ventilation in here, guys, real quick. That's probably a good time to remind you guys. When you're airbrushing, dude, there's a lot of particles that are going in the air. I know you might not see it. You may not care, but eventually it'll start to harm you health-wise. So just be real careful. Make sure you're using some kind of ventilation afterwards, or using a mask as well, you know. Let me show you guys my mask. I mean, I wish I could use this and talk through it, but I'm using one of these guys here. This is a 3M 6001. That's the NIOSH, means the what do they call that, the N95 kind of a filter, just to make sure it just kind of filters things out, you know. But yeah, let me show you guys a close-up here. It's pretty bright, huh? I really want it to come out like popping nicely on that blue, so really we want to make sure that before we take all the mask off, all the vinyl off, everything off, I'm praying that when we peel this all off, it'll look like a nice popping neon orange, but still have a NYX kind of a feel to it, you know? I just saw that. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that suggestion. I think that might be the suggestion of the day, man, because I've got a lot of Windex laying around the house, man. Especially with all the COVID stuff going down, bro. We got Windex, we got wipes, you name it, we got it. Any cleaning thing you need, bleach. Between tangerine and orange, I just read that, Graham. That was what I was looking at before, prior. But I think I just wanted that a little bit more pop to it, you know. So I went with this color. But let's see what it comes out looking like. I just know that I was thinking about it the other day. I'm still looking for this jersey. There is who's the shooting guard? Allen Houston. I'm looking for Allen Houston Knicks jersey. Man, it's hard to find that jersey. I like to collect different jerseys that are like players that may not have been like the superstar on the squad. Like they had, you know, like Ewing, for example, but or like a Sprewell jersey would be dope. Still haven't got a Sprewell jersey. But yeah, I was thinking about Allen Houston jersey the other day when I saw this idea in my head. Still gotta look for that. He was a dope shooting guard, huh? How many of y'all remember Allen Houston, man? That's old school right there. I just got an Iverson jersey. Georgetown Hoyas one. Really like that jersey. It's different, you know? I like the print on it. Very 90s kind of nostalgia vibe. Ooh, buddy, I think we're like right there, man. Maybe I'll give this another 5 minutes to just kind of Give it its chance to settle on there. And I'll hit it with one last coat, and then we'll uncover this guy and see what it's like. Punky B, I got you, man. I saw the Zoom Plus. Got the hand up on that too. Dialab, thanks for staying with us, bro. I appreciate it. Sorry for going backwards on the comments, guys. I will start from the bottom up. When I take a look, I'm like, all right, what's the first comment I see? And I saw just for kicks. Yeah, man, no issues with Windex. So, all right, guys. So I think I'm gonna just give this an opportunity to dry a little bit more, and we'll just jump on that last little layer. Now, for you guys, I wonder. I mean, I'm gonna probably layer this with. Well, not probably. I'm going to. I'm gonna layer it with liquid kicks at the end. Should I do a gloss finish? Or should I do a matte finish? That is the question. What do you guys think? Should I go matte or should I go gloss? So here's gloss. And here is matte. This is an older, I can tell this is an older bottle because they don't do matte like that. They have these nice new labels here. Not to say that's not new, nice or new, but it's definitely the older version. So that's a matte and that's a gloss. So let me know what you guys think. I'm veering more towards matte just because I'm thinking that if he puts his hands on the controller, I don't want there to be like fingerprints left behind and stuff. And for whatever reason, I feel like when you have shiny, glossy finishes, they tend to have the potential to have fingerprints and oily marks and stuff like that more so. So I'm going to probably stick with matte. But let me know if you guys have another reason why I should go with glossy, because I'm about to jump on that next. Oh, okay, that's cool, man. I just read what Just for Kick said, and it makes a lot of sense because the airbrushes have all kinds of seals on the inside, and some of them are rubber seals too. So if you're using something like acetone, which I'm guilty of using that, but it will start to corrode those inner seals, and if it does, your airbrush will not work, or it'll stop working, or it'll give you issues. It might sputter, all kinds of different stuff. So that Just for Kick saying Windex strong enough to use is really good. I like that. All right, guys, last coat. Yeah? Yes? No? Maybe so? Oh no! I didn't cover this, dude. Y'all see this? We'll work that out. I just saw I missed that whole section. No! The good thing is it didn't airbrush overspray too much. That's what happens when you're not cautious. Alright, now I'm just giving each individual one here a goodbye spritz. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing. Alright. Okay, I think we got everything kind of covered, y'all. Oh, man, the moment of truth is coming like real soon. Alright, guys, so let me see what the damage looks like on the back. I mean, I know it's not too bad, but it might be able to even clean it off. We'll see. Got a little bit here. Doesn't look too bad. That might just be another layer of glue right on top before we start. But that's probably going to be for the next run anyways. Let's uncover this guy and see how good or bad I did today. Hopefully we're leaning towards good. All this tape work just to get this front end kind of finished up. But I'll tell you, if we did a good job masking and there's not too much to clean up, I'll call that a win.
I know some people use heat before they take this vinyl off. Any of you guys recommend that? Just, do you ever use heat before you jump onto taking a stencil off? Again, you got to remember that it is an electronic product, you know what I mean? So I got to remember that. So here I already seen I didn't get this enough with the Gucci print, so I'm gonna have to put this all down again, and let's just try to get this real quick. Real small section, and it's easy to like miss a small section like that because you know it's curving. You're really trying hard to get every spot, and I'm guilty of overseeing the back already, so you know everybody's human. Let's just get in real quick and clean it up. It had like a light layer on it. I don't need to spray too much on it. Let's see if that side has a similar issue. I didn't even get that side all the way, so let me jump in real quick and very carefully jump in here. Airbrush that G in. Okay. Oh man, okay, let's take off very carefully. This is a PlayStation controller. At least I believe it's a PlayStation controller. I honestly don't even remember at this point. I think it is. That's how many years it's been since I've actually played video games. I don't even know what controller this is, bro. Like, oh, PlayStation is still around? Yeah, I'm playing. I'm not that out of it, y'all. So the thing about the stencil, it's sometimes difficult to pull it off, sometimes it's easy. Today it's not going to be the easiest because we've got a base that we just painted under there. So because of that, I'm not trying to pull anything too hard. I'm very carefully just going to try to peel this print off. The main point of me peeling this off at a slow pace though is because we're going to try to avoid not getting any of the blue base coat to peel off of the controller. So how I'm going to do that is we're going to reverse weed out the Gucci print. The only thing with that is this Gucci print is super delicate. So at any spot I can really pull it fast and it'll just kind of yank off, just like if you're waxing somebody's hair, like all off, like on one piece. It'll yank real fast and it'll pull that blue base off right away because of the intensity of you pulling it. So just take your time on this stuff, you know. This is you're like 80% there when you're peeling to this point. So if you keep that in mind, that it's going to just be a lot easier to peel it off carefully, you'll see at the end the print should look great. So what I like to do is just kind of go up the chain. Y'all notice that I'm kind of pulling both sides up, because when you do that, it just kind of gives you the opportunity to very cleanly peel stuff out. Like if you miss one little corner here, that whole thing will hit you up all the way up here. So just try to stay consistent when you go up. Just keep going up the chain. All right. Now I got this side. the same deal, guys. I gotta look for spots that I gotta move up and over without peeling the base off. This vinyl, by the way, it sticks really well, but then that can be a caveat here because since it sticks so well, sometimes it doesn't want to come off the controller too. Today I think we got a good balance though, because you could see that it's peeling off and it doesn't have a lot of resistance. That's the ideal stencil, you know, like it releases off the transfer paper well, it applies well onto the object that you're applying it to, and now it peels off of that object really easy too. So it's kind of a win-win for us today, at least. I don't necessarily know how I'm feeling about this orange yet, just because it looks super busy. I expected it to look pretty busy because the Gucci Ghost print is super busy. So that's something that I was not surprised about. I really want to uncover the whole thing. Unfortunately, I can't. And the reason I can't is because we still got to do the whole backside. And so I can't uncover this section here. You know, I got all of this back section here. But you know, today, guys, I would like to celebrate that at least I got this far. Because this was... see, I can't even tell you guys how far in the stream we are at this point because we got cut off, I believe. But I would say I'm probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours into this now. Because I had to size this stencil, cut it out, weed it out. Like, there's a lot of steps that go into using a stencil. So for anybody who thinks like using a stencil is easy, they probably don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? They probably don't have experiences with stencils, or they don't know how to use them correctly, or, you know, maybe they're not as precise with their stencils as we are. But, you know, this comes to show you guys how intricate painting a stencil can be. Now I got to go through each one of these stars and pick off the stencil from there because they were all individual stencils. As I'm doing that, again, I got to be careful not to scratch that blue surface. So there's a certain precision that this requires. You need to be focused enough to peel the stencil off, but not put too much pressure where you're cutting into that blue paint. So immediately once I get in there, once I feel like, okay, I've got a little bit of an edge inside, I start to peel it up immediately. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is definitely not my favorite part of customizing. But I will tell you guys, when you start to uncover the whole print and you get to see what the final product looks like, it makes it all worth it. For me, it makes it all worth it. You get to celebrate another success. It's kind of what I like about what I do, right? You get the opportunity to create something by yourself and be proud of the moment that you experience doing it. Oh man, sorry guys, I know this is going to take a sec. And so I haven't looked down at the chat. So if you guys ask me a question, my bad. I'm slightly busy, as you guys could see. But I'll get to you guys, I promise. So this is what the actual print's going to look like. I'm a little scared of what it's going to look like underneath the buttons. Straight up, I'll be honest with you guys. That section where it's kind of rough, it has a different elevation level. It's not really anything that I can really do to say, oh, that's easy, you can get in this section precise. So I just gotta hope that it did what it did, and then I can fix all the stuff in between it, all the errors. See that? Like I got a G here, but it's not cleaning around it. So there's some cleaning up we've got to do, 100%. Cleanup time there. See all the fuzzy spots? Fuzzy spots all around the controller. So I've got to go back in now, and we got to clean all that stuff up. That's going to take time. And we're going to have to use a brush to do that, probably like a micro brush, to really get in and get exactly what we need it to look like. It needs to look crisp. You cannot have it look like half done, you know what I mean? It'll stand out. So I think we were talking about that the other day on the feed, that one of the customizers said they actually draw out 1 or 2 days just for finalizing their projects, because they understand how important the finalizing process is to the custom. It is your last opportunity to show people what you can do. So that's the way I look at this too. I know that. So I told this dude that it's going to take me about probably 2 to 3 days to finish this controller up, and I'm just giving him an estimate. I didn't have an exact idea in mind, and all he told me was, so my friend loves Gucci and my friend loves the New York Knicks. Can you help me to make a Knicks and Gucci themed custom controller? And here we are. So this is why we are where we are. We're making a New York Knicks Gucci themed controller. Hopefully we'll get it to be done by tomorrow, and hopefully I might be able to jump back on if you guys would like to join me. But today I'm coming to the final product, and tomorrow we might just get that back done, and then we gotta then we gotta finalize it. So I could already tell y'all I'm at least, oh man, I want to say at least another day or two in this for sure. So this dude, I told him it was going to take 2 or 3 days. I charged him for a